It's a beautiful day, and I thank you for taking time out. I welcome you to Forever Rhema, where we're building legacy. This balanced life, I'm your host, JD Taylor. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to call in, join in the conversation, you can call 713-570-9040. Again, that's 713-570-9040. Today, oh my goodness. Today I'm going to be brief because I want to just give you an outline on what I will be talking about uh, in the coming weeks. It's all about family dynamics, the importance and power of family. Family dynamics, the importance and power of family. Family dynamics refer to the patterns of interaction, relationship, roles, emotional connections among family members. It reflects how a family functions together as a unit, how they communicate, resolve conflicts, support each other, and share responsibilities. Is that happening in our families today? Is that going on in our families today? Some families, yes. You may sit there and say, yeah, pretty much. Or come to think about it, no. That's what I'm going to be talking about. And it's not a quick fix. It's not a quick teach. It's not a quick conversation. Because when it's dealing with family, we can go on and on and on. Normally, I would go through a particular teaching, maybe in 2 sessions or 2 meetings, but the Lord told me He wants me to continue this until He stop it. So this is very, very important because it's all about family. When you destroy family, you destroy the church. And when you destroy the church, what do we have? See, the enemy is busy. See, he's on his job. But are you on yours? Are you on your job as an individual, or are you on your job as a family? That's what this is all about. When it comes to important, what is important? Important, of great significance or value, likely to have a profound effect on success, survival, and well-being. When it comes to power, possession of control, authority, or influence over others, ability to act or produce an effect. So when you got power, when your family unity comes together, that's important. It's important. Each individual is important. And when you come together as a unit, that's power. You have so much power. You have so much control over situations, circumstances, and problems, trauma and drama that involves the family when you come together. I've heard some families say, or individuals say, my foe and no more. Well, suppose God said my three and just we'd be in trouble, wouldn't you think? So no, it's not your foe and no more. That's being selfish, that's being inconsiderate, because it's more than just you among your folk. Granted, your parents might not be around, and then again, your parents may be. You may have siblings, you may not. You may have children, you may not. But there are other family members out there that's connected to you in some kind of way that you do know. And granted, yes, there are some family members where it's just them. No parents, no siblings, no children. And that's okay. That's okay. But family don't have to be blood. And I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to go through some of the topics and the things that I will be talking about moving forward. And it'll give you a chance to really think about your family dynamics. What's going on in your family? How do your family come together? How do your family come together when it comes to crisis, situations, and circumstances? When you don't agree, how do you set boundaries? Are you setting legitimate boundaries? Or are you just setting boundaries because you just don't want to be bothered? Because somebody irritated you or made you angry or said something that you didn't like or did something you didn't like. Didn't have to be anything major said or done, but just something that just irritated you or irritated somebody else and they brought it to you and you jump on the bandwagon and follow suit. Mm. Family dynamics is the way family members interact and relate to one another within the family system. Okay, that's something to think about. Understanding family dynamics help identify strengths, communications, and potential challenges in family relationships. Whether you're a sibling, a mother, a father, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, it's the challenges in the relationship. Everybody, each person has uh, their own personality, their own character. Uh, whether they live with integrity or no integrity at all, honesty or truth, whatever it is, whatever the dynamic is in their personal life, it still doesn't stop them from being part of the family. It's all about understanding that person because still in all, they're still family. They're still family. Understanding family dynamics helps identify their strengths, again, communication styles, and potential challenges in their relationship. I wanted to say that over again so you can understand and think about it. Just think about that. To raise awareness about how family roles communicate and emotional patterns affect individual behavior and family health. Mm. Be aware of how you conduct yourself in the family. What role do you play in the family? Again, are you the mother? Are you the father, the sister, the brother, the grandparent, the cousin, aunt, uncle? What role do you play? How do you communicate with these people in the family? Communication is very important. Um, what pattern? Is there a pattern that you lead, that you follow when it comes to interacting with family? Um, their behavior. How do you behave? What triggers a certain type of behavior in an individual in the family? Um, family health. When it comes to an individual's health, are you there to support their well-being? Their if you know that this person has high blood pressure or this person has mental illness or this person family member has heart conditions or whatever, how do you handle that, whether they're in the immediate family, like in your household immediate, or outside of the household? And what I mean by that, immediate, in inside the household, is mother, father, your sister, brother, okay, or mother, father, children. Outside is grandparents, great grandparents, aunts, uncles, those that are close to the family. You're not only dealing with your intermediate, but you're dealing with extended. Because if you're married, your husband got a family, your wife has a family. So how are you interacting with the extended family? We're going to be talking about that as well. Roles and responsibility. Parents, children, and extended family members often have defined roles. Everybody in the family has a role. They have a responsibility to that family within that family. Okay. Whether it's a caregiver or provider or peacemaker, peacekeeper, somebody there to intervene when there's a problem, someone to be the neutral person, to bring the family together to say, okay, we can't have this. We're gonna have to come together and figure this thing out, work this thing out. Where did it start? Where did the root of it? You got to get to the root of anything in order to resolve what needs to be resolved. If not, if that root is there, it's going to keep growing, growing, and growing, getting worse and worse and worse. Communication is so important. It's so important. Open communication or closed communication. Open versus closed. You can't come to any conclusion or resolve any problems when you have closed communication. You've got to have open communication. You've got to be able to sit and talk it out. If there's a problem, you've got to find common ground. You also have to agree to disagree and still move on in a positive way. It's just, I can't understand now. And I mean, if you can't see the enemy, the adversary in this, then you blinder than I could even imagine. And what I mean by that is I've seen so many relationships and lack of communication or no communication between families because of who they voted for. Because of who they voted for. I don't understand. I really don't understand that. And we have a choice. God gave us a choice. God gave us a choice. And just like he gave us a choice, that choice extends wherever. However, it shouldn't matter who or what we got, because you know what? I trust God. I don't care who's in office, who's doing what, however, whatever, what it affects, because when it really boils down, I trust God. I trust him. He's my protector. He's my provider. He's Jehovah Jireh in my life. If I pray every day, Lord, thank you for being Jehovah Jireh in my life. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. If I can believe him for that, I can believe him for whoever's in that office. Because trust me, who's in there wouldn't be in there if God didn't allow him in there, regardless of who wanted him in there or who not. He's there. Trust God. Trust God. So why would you not, or you would sever relationship between family members because of their choice? And God gives us a choice every day. But then you call yourself a Christian. Now, you may not, some of you out there may not like what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care. I'm only saying what I'm hearing God telling me to say. It is what it is. And you can believe what you want to believe. You can continue to do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. But guess what? Do you want to answer to him in that final day about what you're doing right now. What you're doing right now, I will never forgive you for doing such and such. You think you're going to get into that gate with unforgiveness? Come on. Come on. When you think about what they did to Jesus, who was sinless, blameless, who did nothing but heal the sick, raise the dead, made the lame walk, the blind see, did all these things. But they spat on him, they cursed him, they beat him unrecognizably. And still he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So if somebody voted for somebody you felt they shouldn't voted for it, then say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they did. And keep it moving. But for you to hold a grudge against a man who don't even know you, wouldn't know you if he passed you on the street. He's doing everybody said he's doing all these things. Okay, so he's doing all these things, but you still got to trust God. Trust him. Only he can, Lord, this is above my pay grade, but it's not above my prayer grade. So what you don't understand and what you don't like, pray and ask God to turn it around. Turn it around. That really bothers me when I hear people say their loved ones, whether it's a husband or boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, child, sibling, whatever, is not speaking to them because of who they voted for. Are you serious? We're going to move on off of that, but that's something to think about. Who do you believe in? You believe in that man in office? Or do you believe in that woman that could have been in office? Or what you may say should have been in office? Okay, whoever. It still, you have to trust God. Trust him. Communication is important, but be mindful of the type of communication you choose to communicate. Come on. Listening and expressions or expressing emotions is pretty much what I'm talking about. Just think about it. Just think about it. That's why, a lot of people say they don't talk about, they don't like getting in conversations when it comes to religion and politics. Yeah. Whatever. We're going to get into the depth of that as we move forward. Power and authority in the family. Who makes the decisions? How discipline is handled. And we're talking about in the family right now. This could be about your immediate family when it comes to the parents and the child or children. Influence of tradition or cultural values. What type of traditions are you setting? Are there positive traditions or negative traditions? Your culture, what kind of culture values are you displaying or expressing or pushing forward? Is it healthy for the family? Growing up, we had traditions where, and a lot of you can agree with this, where Sunday dinners, our parents, it was all about Sunday dinner. You go to church, come back home, you got this big spread, Sunday dinner. Start Saturday night preparing for Sunday dinner. And when we eat, everybody sit at the table together and eat. They don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. That was a tradition. That's what we had, that tradition. When kind of gotten away from it. But we had done it for so long until, if there was a gap in between meeting for Sunday dinner, the children would say, well, when are we going to have Sunday dinner? Because we had formed and created a tradition that was being followed, and children look at that, and we were doing it because that's how we grew up. So tradition goes from generation to generation to generation. Hopefully is the positive traditions, those that children can look back on and say, wow, I remember blah blah blah, the good times. But do you have that now? Do you have that now? Especially when it stops for whatever reason, and the children look at the fact that, okay, this person is not there and this person's not there, but they're still around. Why we're not doing this? Is it something you can explain or not? What caused it? Is it jobs? Is it move? What is it? So we look at traditions, and we look at cultural values in the family. We're going to look at emotional climates. Is the home environment supportive or critical? Are you supportive of the individuals in the family, what they're doing, what their intentions are, what their plans are? Are you supportive? Or are you critical about everything that they do or decide to do, whether it's right or wrong? So these are things that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at boundaries, dysfunction. We're going to be looking at families that are dysfunctional. What causes a dysfunctional family? And not only that, toxic family members, toxic relationships, how to encourage open communication, and how to set and respect boundaries. Why would you even set a boundary? Why is boundaries needed? How to practice empathy and active listening. All of this is so important when it comes to communicating with family. How to influence future relationships and mental health. If there's someone in the family that's suffering from mental health, how do you communicate or support? Do you? Or do you back off and say, that's not my problem? I don't want to deal with that. That's their problem. No, it's not their problem. It's your problem too. Because if your DNA is the same as their DNA and you're related by blood, then yeah, it's part of your problem too. There are situations where you have family members say, I'm not in the middle of it. I don't want to get, yeah, you're in the middle of it. Because if your dynamics, if your family dynamics and your communication and your fellowship changes because of whatever the situation is, then you're involved. You can't say, I'm not involved in that. I don't want to get in the middle of it. You're in the middle of it. Anytime something changes, your dynamics, your communication, and how you feel about a situation where it's no longer the way it used to be because of what has transpired, you're in the middle of it. And you can't say, you don't want to be involved. You are involved. And we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to get into more detail as to why you're connected and involved. Every family has its unique dynamic. Recognizing and understanding these patterns can lead to healing and stronger relationships and better emotional well being. We're going to talk about that. Healthy family dynamics don't mean perfection. We're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. We will never be perfect. Not that we can't try and strive for perfection, but we're not perfect. When it comes to growth and understanding and connection, we have to think about that because it's all about growth. It's all about maturity. It's all about where you are in Christ. And it's all about what God wants for us. And eventually, and another thing that I will be talking about is, what does the Bible say about family dynamics? What does the Bible say about family relationship? About family that hurt you? About broken family relationships? About family problems? About family turning against you? About toxic family members? The Bible has a word for each one of those, and we're going to be talking about that. We will be talking about that. Family dynamics refer to patterns of and interactions and relationships within the family unit. In the Bible, the family is portrayed as a fundamental institution established by God, serving as the primary contact for nurturing faith, character, and values. The scriptures provide a number of insight into the importance of family dynamics, emphasizing roles, responsibilities, and the spiritual significance of family relationship. And with this, that means the Bible has a lot to say about family and how you function in the family. When it comes to family, we're going to talk about how family can relate to Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, Noah and his sons, Jacob and Esau, and Mary and Martha. I'm going to be talking about each one of those and anything else, anybody else I could find in the Bible when it comes to family and how they communicate, how they treat each other, and each and everything that's going on. So this is just an outline of what I will be talking about in depth. So during your spare time, when you're not busy, in your quiet time, your meditation time, think about family. Think about your family, your extended family, your intermediate family, your church family, your work family. It's all a unit. How do you communicate? So with this, I'm going to end here. I thank you all for joining in with me today. Think about it. I love you. God loves you. And God is your source. Thank you.